The Toxic Avenger.
So I've been seeing a lot of videos lately on YouTube, and I'm kind of disgusted to see some of them actually being okay with this. I don't know why they're actually okay with this. Maybe they just sold their butts over to Microsoft and Activision, and now their holes are completely stretched out from being DP'd. But I don't like what's going on right now. And if you guys haven't heard, the FTC is going after Microsoft and Activision once again because of the huge ass lie that Fat Phil said in court over the FTC's concern on raising their prices for subscription because they would have full ownership of Activision and the games that they make. Fat Phil actually said in court that they wouldn't. That's perjury. He lied in court. And he lied to the faces of the FTC, saying that they wouldn't. Now, don't you think it's a little kind of fucked up that just like a week and a half before they raise their prices and creating tiers with Game Pass Core and Game Pass Ultimate, and then they decide to finally release Modern Warfare 3, but only the people that can afford Ultimate are the only ones that have access to Modern Warfare 3, while those that pay Core don't? You know, you might think that this is just a little exaggerating and it's probably not the best example, but in a way it is, because if you look up the word, it's exactly what I'm about to tell you. Microsoft is creating a form of digital segregation. Because this is segregation. It is a division of the classes. And in this case, those who can and can't pay. You see, because if you want to think about it, don't think about it too hard. I'm about to explain it to you. Segregation was what? Back in those days, one side you had the blacks drinking out of one fountain and they had to stay on one side of the town, and then the other side you had the whites drinking out of a fountain and they had to stay on their side, right? That's segregation, right? That's the separation of classes and color and whatever. Microsoft is doing the exact same thing. You have Game Pass Core and you have Game Pass Ultimate. Game Pass Ultimate gets all these games, gets all these benefits, they get the discounts, they get the I don't know what else you can call it, but they get all the cool shit, while people that can only afford Core get completely fucked over. They don't have as many games to choose from on their game list for Game Pass, and they're going to be completely left out in the dark when Black Ops 6 is finally released. And I know what you're thinking to yourself, yeah, but that's a day one release. Well, I'll give it to you. Yeah, definitely. You know, Black Ops 6 is going to be a day one release. And that's something that I guess should only be up to people that pay for Game Pass Ultimate. But Modern Warfare 3 is not day one, guys. Modern Warfare 3 is not day one. What the fuck? And every other title before that is not day one. So they're basically coercing people into paying for Ultimate so that they can have access to Activision titles of Call of Duty? Come on, give me a fucking break here, guys. That's fucked up. That is seriously fucked up. Fat Phil said in court that they weren't going to do that, and they did it. Does the FTC have a right to go after them? Yes, most definitely. Most definitely. And look, I'll tell you this one right now, guys. I don't have to worry about being able to play Black Ops 6 because I said in my last video I wasn't going to fucking buy the goddamn thing anyways. I would never buy a game that requires me to be connected online at all times, even for campaign mode. Even for fucking campaign mode is required to be connected to the internet because of fucking Treyarch's excuse. You need internet. You need the internet because of the graphics rendering and blah 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 blah. Fuck you. Fuck you. I'm not even gonna play Black Ops 6. No, not until they change that. Not until they change that. I'm not gonna fucking even buy it in physical. I'm not even gonna do that. There wouldn't be any point to it because, I mean, what's the point of buying physical if the fucking game is required for it to be digital at all times? Or connected to the internet at all times, so no, fuck that. But Modern Warfare 3, 2, 1, and Cold War, and every other game that came before that, they shouldn't be considered day one releases, guys. They should not be considered day one releases. Because they're not. They're not day one releases. Although Microsoft is making it very apparent that they're selfish and greedy over Call of Duty titles. So they're going to coerce you into paying for fucking Game Pass Ultimate just so that you can play those games. And I gotta tell you right now, guys, I am glad that I bought most of my games in physical format because I don't have to worry about it. I don't. I really don't. I don't have to worry about that in the least bit. And like I said before, I am not going to buy Black Ops 6. I really am not going to fucking participate in that fucking game. I am not in the least bit curious of what that game is going to have. I really am not. There's a lot of things going on right now that I find it to be very unfair and anti-consumer and antitrust. And if the FTC needs ammunition to go after Microsoft, I'm giving it to you right now, guys. They raised the prices, they created 2 tiers, they created segregation, they're withholding certain titles of a certain developer only for those that can afford Game Pass Ultimate. What more proof do you want? I don't think a judge on the planet would consider what Microsoft is doing to be a fair use. I don't think so. Especially when Fat Phil lied in court. Because he lied in court. That's perjury. You can go to jail for shit like that, guys. And personally, I don't care what all the fanboys are saying. Daddy Phil. Fuck you, Daddy Phil. Fucking jackasses. Daddy Phil. Bunch of overprivileged, overzealous, spoiled brats. It's like all you're thinking about is you, but what about everybody else? Oh, fuck everybody else. I get to do it. I get to afford it. Fuck everybody. Sounded like a complete douchebag and a tool. And like I said, guys, I don't worry about it. I personally don't worry about it. I got my fucking Modern Warfare 3 copy myself, and I don't intend on ever playing Black Ops 6. Ever. I'm not curious in the least bit. So, before any of you start saying that I'm being salty because I can't afford it, no, I don't give a fuck. But I also don't think it's fair to everybody else. I don't think it's fair for everybody else, because I have seen a lot of videos of a lot of people saying, hey, you know what, that's kind of messed up. I couldn't afford my own copy of Modern Warfare 3. Why the hell should I have to pay a subscription in order for me to play it? You shouldn't have to. You shouldn't have to. Game Pass is Game Pass regardless of tier. It has the word right there, Game Pass. And you know what, Fat Phil? If you don't believe it to be that way, I'll give you a piece of advice, you fucking moron. Go back to Xbox Gold. So that way, you can say Game Pass exclusives and not have to worry about tier, because if it's core or ultimate, it still has the word Game Pass regardless. So you should release it for everybody. And if you don't believe in that, then go back to Xbox Gold, because personally, I prefer it. I prefer Xbox Gold than the fucking train wreck you created. That's why you have so many layoffs happening right now. A lot of people like to speculate and say that Fat Phil is firing all the woke developers. I'd like to think that too, but that's not the case. That's not the case. Hi-Fi Rush isn't woke. Why the fuck were the developers from that fucking thing fired? It was a highly successful title. It was a highly successful game, and yet you saw what happened there, right? So don't give me that bullshit that they're firing people because of the wokeness and crap. It's because they can no longer afford it. Can you imagine $70+ billion for the acquisition of ABK, and other game titles aren't really making the buck, so you have to revert to firing people, but then you have to start raising prices for your subscription just to make ends meet on that investment. But that investment is also going to end up costing you, because you're only holding it for people that can actually afford Game Pass Ultimate. Does that make any sense to anybody? Please, someone tell me. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. That makes no sense to me. You would want more people to want to buy an Xbox so that they can have full access to Activision titles and make it affordable to access. But they didn't. What a bunch of stupid fucking morons. Who the hell is in charge of the business ethics at Microsoft? Because it doesn't seem like that the person that's making these decisions isn't really all that there. I really feel that whoever's making these decisions isn't all that smart. You want more sales and units for Xbox, yet you raise the price of Game Pass Ultimate, and then you cheat people out of being able to play Call of Duty titles unless they pay the $20+ a month? Are you stupid? Trump's not president yet. There's no reason for you to do that. The economy is crap right now. And not just in the US. So I don't know. Let me know what you think, guys. Do you think that what Microsoft is doing is unfair? If so, please tell me why. And if you think it's fair, then leave your comment down in the bottom and please explain to me why it is you think that it's fair. And I'll let the people that don't think it's fair tear your ass apart with their comments, because I think they're going to be more based than you, because you're probably just going to say, it's fair because if you can't afford it, then you're a scrub and you're poor. So that's the only thing that these jackasses would probably say. But I don't know. I'm not going to give a fuck personally in that sense, because like I've said before, I have the titles myself. I don't have to worry about it. I have my own copies of all Call of Duty titles. I don't personally worry about that, but I do worry that what they're doing is only going to lead to something even worse than that. That's why it bothers me, because though I see the forest fire miles away from here, it's only going to be time until it reaches my front door. That's how I think. That's my belief. I don't know about you, but that's how I see it. You know, the forest fire looks like it's miles away, and you see the smoke coming out miles away, but sooner or later, it's going to reach your front door, and what are you going to do then? Exactly. So, I don't know. That's what I think. That was my 2 cents. That was my angry rant. Let me know what you think. And to everybody that subscribed to me, thank you so much. Without you, I wouldn't want to continue making these videos, honestly. And please share, subscribe, you know, and game on, everybody.
The Toxic Avenger is coming to your town. Look out.